The Lord loves His people. We sang it in the refrain of the song in between readings. It was also a truth that the people of Israel used to repeat. It pleased them to repeat it. The Lord loves His people. And in difficult moments, always the Lord loves. They will have to wait how He would manifest this love. When the Lord sent, because of this love, a prophet, a man of God, the reaction of the people was, the Lord has visited His people. Because He loves them, He visited them. And the crowd who followed Jesus said the same thing, seeing the things that Jesus did. The Lord has visited His people. And today, here we can say, 100 years ago, the Lord visited His people. He sent a man, He prepared him to make him a bishop and to guide the church. By making the memory of St. John Paul II, we take this up again. The Lord loves His people. The Lord has visited His people. He has sent a pastor. And what are, we should say, the marks of a good pastor that we can find in St. John Paul II? So many things. But let us speak of three, because they say that Jesuits always speak of three things. Let us speak of three: prayer, closeness to His people, love for justice. St. John Paul II was a man of God because he prayed. He prayed a lot. But how come a man with so much to do, so much work to guide the church, how did he have so much time for prayer? He knew well that the first task of a bishop is to pray. And it was not Vatican II that said this. It was St. Peter. When they made the deacons, they said, and to us bishops, prayer and the preaching of the word. The first task of a bishop is to pray, and he knew it. He did it. The model of a bishop who prays, the first task. And he has taught us that when a bishop does his examination of conscience in the evening, he must ask himself, how many hours did I pray today? A man of prayer. The second mark, a man of closeness. He was not a man detached from the people. Indeed, he went to seek the people. And he went around the whole world seeking his people, looking for his people, making himself close. And being close is one of the ways by which God treated His people. We remember that the Lord said to the people of Israel, look, which people had their God so close to them as I am to you? A closeness of God to His people, which He then made closer in Jesus, which He fortified in Jesus. A pastor is close to his people. On the contrary, if he were not, he would not be a pastor. He would be a despot, an administrator, perhaps good, but not a pastor. Closeness to the people. And St. John Paul II gave us an example of this closeness. He was close to the great and to the small, to those who were near, those who were far, but always close. He made himself close. The third mark, love for justice, but a complete justice. A man who wanted justice, social justice, the justice for the people, a justice that rejected war, but a complete justice. For this, St. John Paul II was a man of mercy, because justice and mercy come together. They cannot be distinguished in the sense of separating them. They're always together. Justice is justice, mercy is mercy, but one cannot find one without the other. And in speaking about the man of justice and of mercy, we think of how much St. John Paul II did in order that people would understand the mercy of God. We think of how he advanced the devotion to Saint Faustina Kowalska, whose liturgical memorial from today onwards will be for the entire Church. He had felt that the justice of God had this face of mercy, this attitude of mercy, and this is a gift which he has left us. The merciful justice and a just mercy. Let us pray today that he may give us, especially to the pastors of the Church, but to everyone as well, the grace of prayer, the grace of closeness, and the grace of merciful justice and just mercy.